Okay, today we're going to learn what a slope is. The rate of change is another name for slope. And the formula, I know you've seen this at the Algebra 1 level. It's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And M stands for slope. And that's going to be important later on in this lesson. So, calculate the slope between the points. I'm just going to write the formula down. You'll have the formula. It's the second y minus the first y over the second x minus the first x. I'd like you to label these x1, y1, alphabetical order. X usually comes first and then the y in an order pair. This is the second x. This is the second y. Then all you're going to do is substitute in place of y2, the 9. In place of y1, the 3. In place of x2, the 0, minus, and now do you see that x1 is another negative, so you have to put another negative 2. But two negatives equal a positive. 9 take away 3 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Some of you don't know your factors. On the last test, some of you are making factor errors. So if you don't know what 6 divided by 2 is, make sure you use your calculator. Let's do another one. I'm not going to write the formula down again because it's sitting right here. This is the first x, this is the first y, this is the second x, this is the second y, and the second y goes on top, so it's a 12. The first y goes next to it, which is a 2. x2 is 8. x1 is 3. It ends up being 10 divided by 5, because 12 take away 2 is 10. 8 take away 3 is 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. I think that's it for the first page. Nope, we have a few more. I didn't know I had a few more, but these are the good ones. So the M is equal to x1, y1, x2, y2. Let's go over here and do this one too. x1, y1, x2, y2. I'll wait for you to finish those. Okay, it's the second y, which is 1, minus the first y, which is 4, divided by the second x, which is 4, minus the first y, which is 4. 1 take away 4 is a negative 3. 4 take away 4 is 0. I'll talk about this in a minute. I'm going to come back to that one. Let's do the same thing with this one. The second y is 2. The first y is 2. The second x is 5. And the first x is 3. 2 take away 2 is 0. 5 take away 3 is 2. So the ones up above came out to be numbers. These are, you have 0. There's a rule in math that says you can never have 0 in the denominator in math. This is a no solution. You can never have 0 in the denominator in math. You can have a 0 in the numerator in math, and it ends up being 0. And you can use your notes. So if you don't know where the 0 can be, there's a picture of it on this page. Okay, there are 3 parts for today's assignment. If you're given the graph, they're asking you to find the slope. So if they give you a graph, all I want you to do is find a spot where the 2 lines intersect right on the corner. So there's one, and here's one. Do you notice that this one does not cross on the blue? So all I'm going to do is I have to list my points in this example. This is counting by 4s, so this is 0, 20 for that point. It's counting by 4s, so that makes that this is 28. And if it's counting by 4s, it's 28, 36. So the only thing you have to do is come up with your 2 points. Now that you have your 2 points, you're just gonna go x1, y1, x2, y2. And then you're just going to use your formula. The second y minus the first y divided by the second x minus the first x. 36 take away 20 is 16, divided by 28 minus 0 is 28. Take 16 and divide it by 28 on your calculator, and it's going to reduce it down to 4/7. Okay, now comes the last part of the notes. I think a lot of you remember that y is equal to mx plus b in Algebra 1. If you get y alone, the number in front of the x is called the slope. It's the m, and we're going to use this a lot for the rest of this chapter, this y is equal to mx plus b. So what I want you to do is you need to get y alone in these next two problems. I'm going to subtract 6x to both sides. Negative 2y is equal to a negative 12 minus 6x. So all I did was I subtracted 6x to both sides. I still need to get y alone. Notice that there's a negative 2 in front of the y, and it's a negative 2 times y, so the opposite of times is divide by a negative 2. So just divide everything by a negative 2. The negative 2 and the negative 2 will cancel out, so you're going to be left with y. If you don't know what a negative 12 divided by negative 2 is, put it into your calculator. Comes to be positive 6. A negative 6 divided by negative 2 is a positive 3x. For the last part of the assignment, you have to look at the equation in this form. It has to have y alone. The number in front of the x is the slope. So the slope in this problem is 3 because it's the number in front of the x. On the test, some of you are going to say the answer is 6 because it's the number in front of the x. But it's not, because you have to get y alone before you can pick the number in front of the x. So let's do one more and we're done with our notes. Subtract 2x to both sides. 4y is equal to 8 minus 2x. It's not in the right form yet, so I have to divide everything by 4. Y is equal to 8 divided by 4 is 2 minus 2/4. A lot of you know what 2/4 is. 2/4 is the same thing as a half. You should always simplify your fractions. The number in front of the x, the negative 1/2, is the slope. And that's the last part of the worksheet and the notes. The last page is just to summarize what I just did. In the first part of the assignment, you're going to be given 2 points, and you're going to use that formula to come up with the slope. The second part, you're going to be given a graph. You need to pick your 2 points so that you can use this formula. And then the last part of the assignment, you have to get y alone, and then once you get y alone, the number in front of the x is the slope. So that's just to summarize what we learned today.